Namaste. um, I was talking to my wife this week, and we were discussing relationships, and the subject came up of this idea of the one. So much of what we see on the television, so much of what we see in films, on pop records, etc. They talk about the one, and the idea is that the universe is a kind of giant dating agency, and that our job is to find our right partner by often trial by ordeal, but eventually we're supposed to come to a place where we find this mystical person that has the mystical power, and they are the one. And the mystical power is that they will love us and we will love them, and it will be effortless. And while I was talking to my wife, I suddenly realised how absurd it was. And it sounds like it's a kind of nice idea. It's a nice idea that there's this special person being sent, and that they're on the planet somewhere and we've got to find them. And then when we find them, it's like a Harry Potter film or something. The magic happens. But until we find them, that we're sort of incomplete, and that somehow their love is going to undo all the miseries for us, and that, well, according to the pop music, records and so on, we're not really complete without them. How absurd is it? And it only struck me recently that well, I realised it's an ego thought, but it only struck me recently that it's actually an attack on the self, on the true self. The suggestion is, firstly, that we're not complete, that we're missing something. Now, I do enjoy company. I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my family, I love my friends. So I'm not talking about that, but what I'm talking about is this suggestion that unless I've got the one, that I'm not right. And there's so much propaganda, there's so much in the media about finding the one, and then your life becomes complete. I mean, that's a line from a song. Phrases like "your life becomes complete." It's a phrase. But what I realised the other day was that not only is it an attack on the self in that it suggests we're inadequate, but it's also an attack in the sense that it's saying that we're only capable of loving one person. That we're actually so narrow-minded, that we're so unloving, that it would take somebody with special qualities for us to be able to love them. And then it would be almost like we were doing them a favour and they were doing us a favour. So their existence liberates us, and because they're so special, then in our very inept way we find it within us to be able to love them. And yet everyone is a creation of God. Everyone is a perfect creation of God. They've got their quirky bits, they've got their differences. Is it not more likely that since we were created by a perfect intelligence, that we're actually capable of loving a lot more than just one person? Before I met my wife, I spent several hours thinking about this question of who is the one, and will I meet the one, and is there such a thing? And the answer I came to was that there isn't such a thing as the one. There's the many, there's the thousands. Because if there's just the one, then God is a trickster and has created shortage for us. And since I don't believe that God is a trickster, there must be abundance. But these are really powerful thoughts, and I work with people. I do a holistic type of medicine. I practice Chinese acupuncture with counselling, And so many people that I work with are focusing a very big piece of their life energy into finding the one, and they don't feel happy until they do. I myself have done the same. I was talking to somebody this week about the power of ego thought, and this person was saying, but that is reality. Until I find the one, I won't be complete. And I said, well, it's a thought. It's a thought. It's a thought in your mind. And you can change your mind. And if you change your mind, the thought goes. But the thinker stays. So the thought is only a thought. And to illustrate the point, I wrote on the page, this is not paper. And yet, clearly it is. In the same way, our ego tricks us into thinking we're only capable of loving one person, or there's only one person that's capable of loving us. Those thoughts are about as true as this statement. Namaste.